And now, introducing the new Sneaky G-Man store on SD. All you got to do, go on to SD, type in Sneaky G-Man store, and you could get your very own Are You My Malacca shirt, Samsung cell phone case, or just a cap or a beanie. Let's go Giants. Ow. Hey guys, I appreciate you wanting to enjoy the show. First, I got to give a couple shout outs. First off, I want to give a shout out to dresscomfy.com. She has the latest and greatest for Sneaky G-Man merch. So please, check it out. dresscomfy.com. Also want to give a shout out to 3 a.m. Water Hydration for the go-getters. Natural spring water. Go get it. Now let's go do the damn thing. Before we do the damn thing, I got to give a shout out to George's Trophies, aka Sergeant M Replica Trophies. Guys, Father's Day coming up soon. This is the perfect gift. Matter of fact, this is the perfect gift for any occasion. I mean, who wouldn't want a replica Super Bowl trophy of their team? The team that got the ultimate prize, the Lombardi Trophy. So when you get a chance, go to his Facebook page, George's Trophies, a.k.a. Sergeant M's Replica Trophies. Now, we gonna do the damn thing.
You're listening to Make It Count, the Sneaky G podcast on Northeast Streaming Sports.
Oh, no. No.
Is this thing on?
It's your boy Stefan, a.k.a. Sneaky G, boy. Let's go Giants. Oh! What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Stefan, a.k.a. Sneaky G. Boy, what's going on? Hey, I got to tell y'all something right now. I don't know, Kenny. I see you, Kenny. I don't know if I should be mad or happy. That's the feeling that I get when we tie. I don't know. I don't know how I should feel, but I tell you what, I feel pretty good tonight. Y'all liking what I got on tonight? I mean, I got the hat. I got, matter of fact, I have to give a commercial to Jerry Jones real quick. The best toilet paper that money can buy is 2-ply. Anyway, and this is the only Dallas Cowboy thing I have in the house. But I got it. Like, ain't nobody gonna take this from me. Ain't nobody gonna take Danny. A tie is same as an L. We gotta be positive. Okay. Now I want y'all to hear me out when we have. I got a special guest tonight. I'm not gonna waste too much time. How do you not get excited when you have a giant great coming on the show and you just don't want to say nothing stupid? I already did. So we'll talk about. I see everybody bringing in. Okay, hold on a sec, Gabe in the clutch. OBJ has to be pissed about the Cowboys right now. He deserves to be. He visited the Giants, Bills, and barely got anything came out about the visit. I mean, are we surprised though? Are we surprised? I mean, are we? I mean, I read the whole thing, but we'll get to that later. I got more important news to get to. Um, I want to bring on somebody that I've been social media stalking for about 5 years now. And I'm kidding, maybe 10, but who's counting? Oh wow, Leonard Marshall. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, good to see you. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, brother. And again, congratulations to being in the Ring of Honor. It was an honor to be on the field with you, Rodney Hampton, Otis Anderson. I hope I'm. Oh, Joe Morris and the Giants great on that night. And that was the last Giants game I went to, and there's a reason why, and we'll get into that too. But let me just bring him on, David Tyree, everybody, the man, the myth, the legend.
Good.
How you doing?
Man, we good, man. We in the land of the living, Sneaky G. You got, you made it count, baby.
Yeah, this is like what 15 years in the making, I'm guessing.
All right, listen, it's definitely been a while since we linked up face to face, but like I said, I know you're one of the most hardcore, so I knew it was just a matter of time.
Man, this by you saying that's it's an honor. I mean, I really take that to heart. So guys, I got it on tape. He said it. I didn't have to say it. So real quick, obviously, we'll talk about Super Bowl 42 for a sec. Mm-hmm. By far, I would tell you that it's one of my favorite Super Bowls out of the Giants, but I'd be lying to you because the 86 Super Bowl is like it's always the first one. The first one's always the sweetest one. But and then also every time I watch the 1990 Super Bowl, like the replay of it, I always think that kick is going to be good. Like that Scott Norwood kick is going to be good. But you have a unique story that I don't think a lot of people know, and we can go as deep as you want to, because for me, I not only see you as as a Giant great, as the man that outlasted Rodney Harrison. He still dreams about that catch, right?
Yeah. It took Rodney a long time to come to terms that, I'd say it's just one play, man. I'm sure he'll get his yellow jacket at some point.
That's without a doubt. That's without a doubt.
Let me get my little day in the sun, man. Let me get my Hall of Fame moment.
Right. That's without a doubt. But it took you a while. I mean, there's a story behind that catch. Please, the mic is yours. Tell everybody what we don't know, what I know, but what they don't know, and just go ahead, do it.
Well, listen, man. I mean, I would say the journey up to the catch is pretty dope in relation to just me. The funny thing when you mentioned the 86 and the 90s championship, I'm not the New York Giant historian. Of course, I actually grew up in Jersey, 20 minutes from Giant Stadium. I never played in MetLife, so my heart is still tied to Giant Stadium. But I'm born in 1980, so I grew up watching the 49ers running the table. So actually, the funny thing when you say that, I was rooting against the Giants. and honestly, amazingly, Leonard Marshall, if he peeked in or popped in, but it was because of him that I hated the Giants because I was a 49ers fan.
Are you serious? This is the first time I ever heard this guy. So okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, man. So like it was always fun growing up, grinding through, hating the Giants because they hurt Joe Montana. And of course it unleashed Steve Young. We got another chip back. But that's just the irony of life and the way things happen.
So if you don't mind me asking, how did you lived in Jersey, like you said? And how did you become a 49ers fan? And before you answer, I'm not from New York.
I got it.
I'm from Service to Arizona.
That's
southern Arizona, as south as you can get before you get to the border. And it's funny you say that. During that time frame, you're right. Everybody was a Montana fan. Dan Marino. I'm going old school. Jim Everett from the Rams.
Yeah.
And I think who was the quarterback for the Raiders? I think it was like Jay Schrader back then. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm going far back. And I actually became a Giants fan because of Phil Simms.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got the autograph
It's
jersey
all
and
lit.
everything. But yeah, how did you become a 49ers fan?
Just got it was basically what I watched, right? You probably caught an early Super Bowl run. I remember them dicing up the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
55-10.
Yeah, they chopped them up, and I think it was Jerry Rice catching little snippets of his story, hearing about his work ethic as a kid, and then they just had dogs. They had the horses at every position: Brent Jones, Tom Rathman, Roger Craig, and Taylor at the other receiver spot. Romanowski. So it was just like too much to overcome from easy fandom, onboarding, and loving a winner. And so I just kind of jumped on the board with that. And then I think we're right in the middle of feeling like we're about to get on another run. And here comes Leonard Marshall and
Out of
LP.
nowhere.
Yeah, man. Like, who the hell? What?
Out of nowhere.
I'm
Yeah.
watching it with my best friend, and he's a Giants fan. And, so it was the beginning. So of course I'm in college, 2000. I'm rooting against the Giants. The Ravens smoke the Giants, and then next thing you know, I'm a special teams gritty guy. Of course, no one goes to college to play special teams,
Right.
So let's just keep that clear, right? And when you get recruited, you expect them to shine, but my mentality was always, how can I make an impact on the game? And if they're gonna shade me, because I'm not sexy as a wide receiver, I just got to figure out how I'm going to block a punt, score a touchdown, and because competing was never the issue for me, I would always outcompete most of my competition who may have been more, talented or gifted. So yeah, I mean, once I had a son in college, I saw special teams as my avenue to at least maybe get an opportunity. And that's how far off the grid I was coming into the draft. And lo and behold, 2003, the Giants draft me and bring me home. So that's the beginning of a love affair that's going to last a lifetime. It turned out being a dream, right? And then there's the reality of just my journey. And I was an old rookie. I'm 23 years old. I'm redshirted in college. I had a son, and I was a straight up street-minded kid from Essex County, New Jersey, and they brought me back home. So it was great and it was bad. It was a gift and it was a curse. So that's kind of what I experienced in my rookie year. I was NFL Special Teams Rookie of the Year, Giants Rookie of the Year, and I over-delivered as a rookie in relation to their expectations for me as a wide receiver. So yeah, I mean, like, the feathers in my cap were just being a competitor, being smart, being aware of what was going to keep me employed and delivering when it counted. And I think that was really the thread of my experience as a Giant. But yeah, so success on the field rookie year was good. But boy, I think I had like $10,000 in fines my rookie year. Yeah, I was out of pocket. And honestly, that was Fossil's last year. So he was like, it should have been 40. And I know it should have been, because I would show up, have drugged to a few practices here and there. And that was just me. It wasn't even like, you grow and we look at players making important decisions. I get it. And I feel like what qualifies me the most in so many different areas is I've made some really bad decisions. I know how easy it is to do it. I was fortunate to come to faith in my journey of faith and get like this massive 180 turnaround. Like,
right.
It's a miraculous journey and testimony, because I would call myself a functional alcoholic, blackout artist. I know everybody out here getting it how they live. And but ultimately, yeah, there's some destructive behavior that we all kind of find ourselves in. So yeah, that was a part of my journey up to that point. Substance abuse, the typical vices for young men, especially athletes who have access. So yeah, and man, 180'd it. Of course, that all happens when Tom Coughlin is coming in with his whole, So honestly, there wasn't any like gimmies. As much as I had a successful rookie season, I was also a blemish on an organization that is known for not being big on, distractions, right?
Right.
And I think that's the Giants, but even more so when Coughlin came in. And the reason why I feel like the relationship is going to be forever because Tom Coughlin, like I had an average at best training camp as a receiver that first year where he was in there. So technically he could have cut me loose as baggage and we get somebody else to do that. But obviously I knew what I was as a teamer. But I did believe that I had more to offer as a receiver. That's my career. I never felt like, hey, if things would have worked out perfect in my world, I would have been a number 3 and I still would have played core teams. And, if you would have gave me 40 catches, 5 touchdowns, and go to the Pro Bowl, that would have been my dream season.
Right.
That's the mindset that I had because for me, it was more about being a football player and impacting the game than it was, I knew I had some limitations, but ultimately I just competed, paved the pathway. I actually won the 3rd wide receiver position my 3rd year. You may remember Tim Carter. They kind of liked Tim a little bit more. So politics kind of rear-ended me. And I grew up with Eli. So it's kind of like, some of us had to endure the journey of Eli arriving to his championship pedigree, and obviously he did. So, when I was kind of at my best as a receiver, I can't say Eli was at his best as an emerging quarterback, but he was a special player at the position because he had the resolve, the commitment, the discipline, and the toughness that delivered us, as he progressed in his 4th season, my 5th season. So everything came together, man. And I mean, most of the people know the story. Mine is a story of endurance, of belief, of faith, overcoming. And then I finally had my moment. I finally had the moment that we all celebrate. And I feel like that moment doesn't just belong to me. It belongs to all the Giants fans and every sports fan that could connect to that story in any way.
Now, and so I want to talk about Coughlin real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the former beef that I had with Tiki. We're besties now. We're besties now.
I think a lot of people have some beef with that.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, I'm having a Tupperware party and he's coming on over. He's only coming for the freebies. Let's just be honest. So, I mean, but when I spoke with Tiki and after we made amends, we briefly talked about Coughlin and how much of an impact he was. I mean, even though, there was some headbutting, but he will admit that he gained more yards under his, tutelage, if you will, than
great facts is that Tiki was a great player, but he was not a feature running back until Tom Coughlin came in.
So
he was not an MVP. There were different conversations about Tiki Barber in Tom Coughlin.
It's big old 7-0 right here. Leonard, thank you so much for blessing.
Right, that's the OG.
I see you, all my dudes. DT, what's up, my little butt? See, that's what I'm talking about. When he says your family, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm just being honest. I hope he heard what you said about him earlier about the 49ers. So, and real quick, I hate to jump back and forth about the 49ers. When Lawrence Taylor knocked him out of the game, my dad made me finish watching the NFC Championship in my room because he hated the fact that Montana got knocked out. Okay, so back on Tom Coughlin. Okay, here we go. He love him some David Tyree. That's what I'm talking about, Leonard.
OG right there.
It's all right, all love. So what Coughlin did for Tiki, I'll say on the field. What did he do for you off the field?
Well, you know what? Coughlin was consistent, and I was very familiar with hardcore coaches. Paul Pasqualoni at Syracuse was another, exterior callous, and so it was easy for me to conform. My life was changed kind of immediately just through my walk with faith. And I said some crazy stuff. I was crazy for a little bit, and some of that's in my book, More Than Just a Catch, that I wrote not too long after the Super Bowl.
You got it. You said you have a book. What is it called? The Catch?
More Than Just a Catch. I'm not even
More
sure
Than Just a Catch.
Amazon. It might be on Amazon. You can find it in some places, but I'm going to be getting my shop up soon so people can buy autographed copies.
Okay.
But I mean, I literally, I go through this radical transformation. I remember, I'm in this massive belief, faith element where I'm kind of out my mind, but I'm in my mind. I tell Coughlin, hey, listen, I go to his office. I say, yo, man, I think you're the guy that's going to get us to the Super Bowl. Mind you, I just got arrested a couple months ago.
So you had already foreseen this.
This is literally like a month after I get arrested.
I'm getting goosebumps because you know what comes to mind? The late great Reggie White. Remember when he was on the market?
Yeah.
And he said, God told me to come to Green. I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Well,
he said, God told me to come to Green Bay to get to my Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's the minister of defense. And, he's one of those pioneer players. Far different career than me, but my faith journey was authentic. But at the time, I'm kind of like jaded, but sincere. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I just kind of went up there in faith, like just feeling like, hey, listen, man, I was the crazy part was I think I said to him, hey, man, everything in the locker room, I had this spiritual idea, like, you know what, I'm going to believe God. We're going to turn this team around. I got things covered. My life has changed. I'm like delusional, but sober at the same time. And I'm like, listen, man, and I said, listen, I believe you, the man that God has sent to get us to the championship. And he was like, listen, man, don't worry about that. You need to worry about getting your life together. and it was cool. I didn't really, no offense is taken. But it was an interesting experience knowing that I had a whole journey to go through, because that's 2004 in the offseason when he just gets the job. And so, short story, fast forward, his relationship was his consistency of message and consistency of character. And that's what set him apart as a leader. He never wavered. He was a fantastic coach in relation to X's and O's and leading a group of men and being prepared and reshifting our mind around what was capable. And the results were honestly immediate. And obviously the story's been told 10 times over in relation to what made the difference in 07 and his ability to just kind of loosen up and be a human. And that was the difference. I think that was 100% the difference. Some guys were able to kind of drop their shoulders, and the special things that happen on championship teams begin to take place because the team we had the horses, and there was a narrative. Everybody knows, Tiki retired, and people were, the doubters, the hate, and there's so many different interesting stories to tell. But he was definitely so consistent, and any man and player can eventually respect someone who has a fair set of values, has beliefs, and is consistent and unwavering. And that's what set him apart as a leader.
I want to ask, okay, I definitely think of you more than just the catch, because when I see you right on social media with your boys, with your kid, with your girls, with your wife, I see you not only as a former Giant, in my opinion, a great Giant, and to me it's more than just a play.
Sure.
Okay, it's a play that's you're actually in the Hall of Fame, right? Like the whole
the helmet's in the Hall of Fame. So
yep.
So yeah, I mean, and I totally understand. I totally understand the pundits and what somebody can say, like you're known for one moment, or you just had one catch. And I was actually, if I got time, I'll play around on social media. I like to mess around on the NFL handle. And I think I said something about Baker Mayfield and all the hounds came out. And the reality is this. I knew who I was as a player. That's what kind of set me apart. And I knew that special teams, and at the end of the day, for a few years in the NFL, I was the best in the league at what I did. Mm-hmm. And maybe a couple people can debate, but I was the highest paid special teams player when I got my contract. I was the best. I was the best in the league at what I did, and I was proving that I could do more. But that didn't shake out, and those were things out of my control. And I think I had the respect of my teammates, and what the helmet catch did, what that game did, because obviously I did at least make one other play, i.e.
Yep.
the touchdown, right?
And we'll get to that too. Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
But what that did for me was it was a moment of validation for me, and it was a moment that I was hoping to build upon, and that wasn't in the cards. And for all kinds of different reasons, but ultimately, it was what that did was like it confirmed to me that I could come through when it mattered, and I think that was my career in general. I was a guy who was really good at something, and I was capable of doing more. And so I would never let one thing. I would never live in a box. And I'm just going to respect the legacy of every person at what they do. So that's it, man. I was grateful to land in New York and be a part of amazing legacy.
And you're talking about respect. The respect I have for you, of being basically, when I see you, I see victory. When I see you, because now in this second part of your life, I mean, you worked in the personnel department with the Giants for a little bit, and we'll touch a little bit on that too. But also now you're an entrepreneur. You have a juice business. That I swear to God, the moment you go mobile, I'm gonna order me. I'm gonna get some.
We got you. We should be able to ship some juice out of the store pretty soon. Now it has longer shelf life. So I need all y'all Giants fans to stop tripping. So I need support. Obviously, entrepreneurs. It's a sexy thing to say, but it's just like life. It's a grind. And so yeah. I mean, like, what I am is I'm built to last. At the end of the day, my legacy is going to be eternal. My legacy is going to be based around, priorities, man. Like, football's an experience, and it's a unique community to live in, flourish in, and be a part of, especially at the highest level. And success is relative, man. That's my biggest message. Like, and there are levels. It's like, listen, no, I didn't have a Hall of Fame career as a wide receiver, but for 5 years, I was one of the best in the league at what I did. And I proved that I can do more than even beyond that. So yeah, I'm more than just a kid. So it's great, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade my career, my 7-year NFL career for anything. It's like,
shoot, anybody would love to have,
yeah.
just a little taste of what you had. Now, and you were talking about your legacy too. I see you're talking about a grind. You work out with your kids.
Yeah.
And you put them through a grind. And when I'm gonna be honest, when I see that, for me, that I'm obviously I have my son Nick. I don't think you met him. Did you? Yeah, because he was little when you saw him. He wasn't with me when I saw you last at the Monday night game.
Okay.
Or was it? No, it wasn't the Monday night game. It was the Fan Fest. I think that's the last time I saw you, Fan Fest. Yeah. Are your children? I mean, are they also playing sports? Are they?
Well, my oldest son is 21. He's actually going to be leaving for the Air Force in February.
That's what I'm prior. I'm Air Force. That doesn't count as the military. Last time I checked. I'm prior Army. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, that's very strategic. And
actually, I would tell my kids to go Air Force if they decide that list.
You got to choose right? It's
yeah,
like a wife. You got to choose right. But ultimately, I got my oldest two sons are 21 and 18. We homeschooled for 15 years straight. This is actually the first year where my children aren't homeschooled. So we kind of coming into a new season of life in general altogether with 2020 getting I kind of got spit out the front office. That's another story. And it was part of it. It was this time. Part of it, I would have loved 2 more years for my own comfort. But yeah, it was like I'm ready in so many different ways. And the catch is a legacy that keeps on, that has far more story. My life after the catch is far more rich comprehensively than my life up to the catch, and that's a story to tell. So I just, I'm just trying to make it count. God has given me life. I'm trying to steward it. I love sports. I love what sports has created. So yeah, it's some dope stuff that's coming up in 2023, starting with the catch camp in Arizona. So it's going to be some super duper. You're going to see a lot more. I mean, like we barely, in my mind, we're like barely off the ground, but we having fun.
And I'm glad you brought that up because, the success that Deion Sanders is having in coaching,
Yeah.
and Trent Dilfer coaching in high school, and of course Saturday being,
Yeah.
the thing about, in my opinion, I understand the I don't want to say ridicule, the criticisms he's getting.
Sure.
However, a lot of the coaches, and maybe they're just saying this just to be positive, but I'm going to take them for their value. I mean, they're giving them credit. They're saying, no, we believe Saturday is the person for the job, and so forth. But I don't want to touch too much on that. Have you thought about possibly getting into coaching and, high school, college, and maybe NFL?
No, not me, because I respect coaches and I respect the sacrifice and commitments they make. Even in my job at the front office, more times than not. And of course, we all work in weekends in that environment. More times than not, apart from an emergency, I can get out of there at 5:00 and be home. So that's a priority. Is just having, my life built around those kind of priorities, and that 9:00, 10:00. 11:00, sleeping over nights. These guys are laying it down and making some unique sacrifices.
Right.
There's changes in the coaching environment, but it's still a unique sacrifice that families have to endure. And where our commitments were, I never saw that in the cars. So, I mean, I will say, like I said, my kids are getting older, so we're getting our second win. But the ecosystem of working in sport is limiting in some ways. Like, I'm interested in so many other things. I value so many other things. Like, living in sport is the most fulfilling, and then it's also has so many blinders because of what it takes to excel. So I'm kind of aware of that. Once you come out, you're like, oh man, the whole world is happy. Let me see what's going on out here. So
right.
So I always want to be connected to it because it's special, it's unique, it's created so much and still does. But ultimately, yeah, I'm working toward media and business.
Oh, gotcha. Now, so let's talk the week of the Super Bowl, and then we'll put that chapter to rest. Okay. Of course, you hear the stories of Strahan saying that you did not have a good practice.
Oh man, that's so true.
So out of 10 passes you were thrown, theoretically, how many did you actually and paint the picture for us? What practice was it? And go ahead.
So it was the Friday practice. So I don't mind any of it because it makes for a great story, right? But at the end of the day, it wasn't like all week. I've heard people say like, "Oh, he was dropping everything all week," and it's cool. But at the same time, it's like so it was a Friday practice. Friday practice are typically the dress rehearsal. Some people may or may not have heard that obviously Plaxico didn't practice much at all that year. So I'm the one that's taking all them reps in general. And the same thing kind of happened. He came back for a quick little spell. He was practicing toward the end of the season a little bit. And then he has like some incident and Plaxico's questionable. For me, none of it mattered because he didn't practice most of the year anyway.
Right.
So I'm not even thinking like, yo, you might start. I'm just getting the same Plaxico Burrs reps that I always get.
Gotcha. Okay.
For a story, I'm the workhorse. I wish they had a GPS back then. I would have broke those suckers. But yeah, and honestly, it was a horrible practice. From straight up drops to just contested passes that were drops. It was a bad optic, period. And that's you drop 2 passes in a practice, that's a horrible practice. You drop 1, it's a bad practice. So if I could be honest, I know that the funny thing was I know there was a 7-on-7 period where I caught everything. I probably caught 3 balls out of 10 plays or 12 plays on the script, 3 or 4. And the only reason why I know that is because Tom Coughlin was like, "Welcome back."
I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that part of the story.
Yeah.
He said, "Welcome back."
Yeah, he was like, "Golly, welcome back." And because, like I said, I dropped a few early, and then I dropped a few more toward the end. But
Right.
the problem with it, it's supposed to be a dress rehearsal. It's supposed to be a cleanest practice. You want to leave there feeling good. And the reality was, like I said, you catch everything. My nickname was Lay Hands Incorporated. And the reason why, and any of the DBs at that time could tell you that, nah, man, I wasn't this super duper polished receiver. I wasn't fast. I was really smart, had strong hands. And of course, I was physical. So I put these mitts on you. So that's why they call me Lay Hands. And I pray for you too. So you got to lay hands when you pray. So at the end of the day, family, it was a horrific practice. Everything that's traced. So you might as well, when you're responsible for 5 or 6 balls on the ground or something like that, right? It doesn't matter what it looks like, and it goes in your direction, and it's not complete. Like it was probably 3 or 4 three pure drops and 3 contested drops, drops. So that's like the purest truth, like from my optic. But at the end of the day, it was the worst practice that a receiver could have going into a Super Bowl.
And did Strahan really say beat him up ball? Did he?
Oh,
Really
yeah. It was live out there. Like defense was out there. Like they was out there watching beat him up ball, beat him up. Hey, listen, but that's the vibe. Like, it's no shame in it. It's just like,
right.
You have a bad day, you brush that off, and you go to work. And a bad day just typically doesn't look like that. It's like, what are you doing? And honestly, it never entered my thought process moving forward, because old things pass away. Behold, all things are new. A new day, a new mercy, baby. I'm living in the now. So that's just the mentality. It never entered my psyche. And yeah, it was very cool because Eli did hit me after practice. It's not something I'm thinking about like that, but he's like, listen, man, I know you'll be ready on game day, But at the same time, in my mind, I'm like, Plax will be ready.
Right. You're like, I'm not even going to, but you knew you were going to see the field though, right?
Oh, yeah, because,
with special teams.
My entry into the game plan, not a game plan. So people don't get it. It's like there's a miraculous side that most of which the book tells, because it leads up to the Super Bowl. But when Jeremy Shockey gets hurt,
right?
We go from 3 wide receivers to 4 wide receiver sets and passing downs. So basically, when I come back from burying my mother, I missed the Buffalo games. I got the news Saturday night on the Washington game. So I literally leave. I have to fly to Florida, take care of business there. We do something small. We bring her back home to Jersey, bury my mom. So I basically missed 2 games, the Buffalo game. And I come back last game of the season. We're right in New England, and I'm like in the game plan. I should have scored a touchdown in the New England game on a quick little screen pass on the end zone. I was dead sick because I caught it, but I tripped. And like I said, that was a shootout. Obviously, everybody knows the results of that, right. And that set the stage for what was to come. But no, man, I was in the game plan. I was bunch of reps, passing downs. And the coolest thing is, if you look at, and I'm sick in my stomach because of course you want to make every play, but if you look at the final drive, I probably had 3 or 4 targets in that drive. So now technically Eli threw, what should have been picked by Asante Samuel.
Yep.
That wasn't really directed at me. It was actually Eli trying to throw the ball away because Steve Smith ran the wrong route.
Right. Yep. I remember that.
And of course, I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's over my head by the time I get, I'm getting around. And then there was another tip pass that I really should have, so it's pretty neat because we did have trust and chemistry. And I think I was a receiver that grew up with him and he felt like he could trust to be in the right place. And I think that was the nature of the relationship from just being a guy who was trustworthy. So
the play that you got the touchdown.
Yeah.
What's the name of the play?
I know it was we called it a pop pass, like Z pop. It was actually W pop pass. I can't remember the formation call, but it was definitely a pop pass. So that's heavy run action on the goal line. I come in and I usually put that work on them safeties.
Right.
So that was the drill. And actually, that was an all Eli Manning situation right there. But that was literally in the game plan. So I have sold this story on some outlets, but I think it's just a neat story in general. Michael Jennings was one of our guys who got on IR early that year. His mom was a pastor, and I got to know her over the previous year in like 06. So, of course, she's out there. You know, I'm over here on the faith journey, and, you know, we praying the night before. And she's, you know, we first is just like prayer. My wife is pregnant with twins. Bless Lord, let them win. And boom, it just shift. She says, David, God he's quickening your feet. He's giving you the feet of a deer to jump high. And then she says, the Lord is putting spiritual glue on your hands. And then the last thing she said is, God's going to give you the big play.
Wow.
So she prophesies these things. She speaks them. And I'm a believer, so I believe. You know, I'm like, I believe God. I believe, you know, listen, amen. Yes and amen. And so when she said God's going to give you the big play, I'm like, man, I hope they line it up. We can call this pop pass. And I get, man, imagine me getting the touchdown. And boom, it comes to pass, bro. I'm like, in my head, the way the defense is playing, I'm like, we got to go ahead and touchdown in the fourth quarter. I'm like, let's lock it up. We good. And lo and behold, that wasn't the big play. And so it was.
So before we go on, I'm a football connoisseur, right? I want you to take me on the field, and you're getting the ball. What defense do you see? Because they ran like I want to say they had to been in goal line defense. It looked like cover 2. You had the linebackers, but of course you had that slot to where you got that little skinny post inside there. What did you see, and what in your mind were you thinking? Okay, I need to take a step out. Like, what were you thinking of knowing how to get open?
So we got a coverage that calls for a little bit more skill than I actually executed. So they had an inverted safety, which means that the safety that I want to hit is actually not really even there. So I'm actually now running this route because the goal is to show run. He comes up and we throw it over. Mm-hmm. Well, he's already down. So now what you got to do is you got to bend that route back out toward the corner, get him up off you, and we can throw it in there. Honestly, I ran that sucker just like a slant, and Eli drilled it. He drilled it. And so when I'm telling you, like, you know, people ask me, you know, about the MVP situation and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I deserved it, but I also feel like he deserved it too in some ways, right? And when you talk about the NFL storylines and legacy, I wasn't surprised. But at the end of the day, that was his play. And we obviously share our play in relation to 76 Max Union-wide sell because he was miraculous in his own right? Like, you know, the dude, you can blow on Eli, he will fall. So,
right.
You know, like that's the real narrative for Eazy-E. Like, he has some real clumsy and uncomfortable moments. But he, like I said, he was consistently who he was, and he played above the X's and O's, and he gave me a shot, and God did amazing things.
So now we'll get to the helmet catch, and thank you for that, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Where you had to go out, and then cut back in, but you ran it like a straight skinny post. That's what I saw.
Panic mode.
So
I was open, but the whole point of straightening that route up is to get separation. Mm-hmm. And obviously there was no separation because Asante Stanley was right behind us. So, you know, when I'm telling you, it reminds me I'm not going to get off topic. We go to the helmet test, but it reminds me very eerily of the same pass that he threw to Victor Cruz for his touchdown.
Oh yeah. For the 2000, right.
Man, you talk about, you got to call it like it is. That was E. So he gave me a shot. And of course I did my job.
Now, what was the play call for the helmet catch? I know for a fact Eli didn't go in the huddle say strong right helmet catch on one. I know he didn't do that.
Yeah. Now it was half right, 76 max union wide cell. So
Okay.
it's me and Steve Smith on one side, Amani and Plaxico on the other. It's a cover 4 beater. So that means on the right side, on the strong side, we have what we called our cell route, which is a post over the top, outbreaking route. Hopefully good to get out. And now we could, if we get 42 coverage, which they played, we could have a shot over the top, and that's actually kind of the way it played out. So, but obviously, we want to thank the offensive line for blocking no one. And
Exactly.
yeah, man,
They threw some good lookout blocks. Really good lookout blocks.
Indebted to Sean O'Hara and David Dale and those guys. They set me up to be a part of the NFL legacy, the narrative. So, and on the backside, they had a 2-beater, which was 2 in-breaking routes at different levels. And it didn't matter because it just went to backyard ball. And, and you persevere. And, and it was really, like I said, football is about, when it's about making a play. And I think that was my experience. That was who I was as a player, period. I was never this super duper dynamic, polished. I knew how to be. I could play the position. Like I said, I came out of the third season. I came out of camp with a third wide receiver position. So no, I could compete and earn a spot, but you had to love me. If you didn't love me, I wasn't your guy. And I think that was and I think that's the story for a lot of players in the NFL. There's just a lot of guys who can play, but unless things work out in a certain way, they might not reach their or accomplish their full potential.
Now, everybody that I've been blessed to speak to that's been in the NFL that have won the Super Bowl, they always talk about the moment that they have with the Lombardi Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
First time I remember hearing the story from Mike Tomlin. No, it wasn't Tomlin. It was the safety that retired. I can't think of his name with the long hair.
Oh,
yeah. He was talking about passing around the sticky. It was, so when you had your moment with the trophy, with the Lombardi Trophy,
yeah.
What thoughts? Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry to hear about your mother's passing. I wanted to, my mom, I totally understand.
Yeah. Part of the journey.
Yeah. I wish it wasn't, but it is. Yeah. What was your moment with the Lombardi, and what thoughts, if you can recall them, kind of like moment of reflect? What did you have? Like, what were you thinking?
Honestly, it was quicker than it should have been. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell
you what, David. If you ever come to the house, I'll let you. You can hold this. You can hold it. And have your moment again.
I got you, baby. I got you. Yeah. What I will say is that like I said, I was fortunate to get it, to hold it, embrace it, soak it in for a few minutes. And I think I was being too respectful of others. I gave it a nice kiss. And honestly, when I think about that, that's so gross. It is really gross. Like I almost regret giving the Lombardi Trophy a kiss. Just think, I know we done endured COVID. It's just nasty in general when you think about
right. Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, but you know what? You in the moment, and it's definitely the moment that you could never imagine. You're talking about a dream becoming a reality. So I would have been, like if there was some things, I think I was in awe. I was literally in awe of the fact that all this just happened, and I didn't even know what all this was. But I also knew what I endured personally from start to finish, missing the first 2 games with injury. I remember the narratives early in the season. It was the worst. And, I'm a high producer. So if I don't have 15 to 20 tackles on special teams, I felt like a bum. I think I had 10 tackles that year. That was my lowest output. That's good for some people. And obviously the well was dry at wide receiver. And, like I said, I got in there in the Chicago game, and I definitely made some plays that helped us win that game. That meant a lot to me. But yeah, that was it. And so then I lose my mom, and next thing you know, we on this run. So to have it in that way, I think I couldn't even fully embrace the reality of what I was even really experiencing.
Right.
So it was awesome. It was great. Um, and I do have Sports Illustrated, the Eli cover, the blue one. I think that's the one that actually has a picture with me in the Lombardi. So, that's probably the only great picture that I have with the Lombardi.
And if I'm not mistaken, and
Mhm.
please tell me, because this is a great trivia question that I'm
Yeah,
about to ask you right now. Um, the helmet catch was your last official NFL catch reception?
it, it was. It
Wow.
was. It was far from the plan. I mean, like any competitor or athlete is looking to build on a moment of success or an experience of success, right? So, um, maybe a month after the Super Bowl, within inside that time frame, of course, the world is opening up, opportunities opening up. I actually go to the facility and get a workout. I rested for a few weeks and I was trying to pave that pathway. And I remember sitting down and this story hasn't been told much, but I literally sitting down on a bench, I bend over, grab my lotion, and my knee locks up. So that was the beginning of the decline. That was the beginning. I had to have a surgery, 4 to 6 months, put me close to the start of training camp, activated all kind of soft tissue injuries. And, of course, I was right back where I started, fighting for a roster spot.
Right.
And
Right.
obviously we were stacked the next year, should have been another Super Bowl run. And I ended up on IR because, I think the knee was strong, but I started having these soft tissue. And we were just and honestly, they didn't necessarily need me. They would have loved to have me, but
Right.
I don't think the roster needed me, so they just put me on IR. So yeah, it was a full year out, and it was the same thing again in training camp. So cut out of camp, and at the time they weren't so great. I'll be honest with you, they were always careful and very solid in the training room, but the methodology didn't fit my recovery.
Gotcha.
So when I got to Baltimore, they didn't give me options. They didn't give me options. I had it. I got there like week 3 or week 4 or something like that because I wasn't healthy leaving the Giants. Had to get healthy. Had to figure out what the hell that was because I never had to recover from this kind of stuff. And yeah, it took me a few weeks, but they're like, "Listen, man, you're gonna have to, we're gonna have to, not tape you up, but we're gonna have to wrap you up, and you got to go." And I was like, "Cool," because I'm a dog. And
Right. Right.
and I eventually got back into myself as a special teamer, but no, I never got a chance to catch another ball.
And was it unique? I've always wondered, how is it going from the Giants being there for so long and then going to another team, another organization, another town,
Yeah,
another conference? I mean, do you notice a difference playing in the NFC and in the AFC?
yeah.
Or is it all the same?
No, I only had 1 year with the Ravens, but it was not the
Right.
same. Their rivalry with the Steelers was thick. It was thick. It was palatable. It was a little deeper than even our Eagles rivalry, perhaps. Right? That's my favorite. So, short story, it was thick. Harbaugh was a great coach. He was there. He obviously knew me as a special teams coordinator for the Eagles, so he was grateful to pick me up. They wanted to pick me up right out of training camp, but I wasn't healthy. So, short story, it was honestly, the Ravens are a class organization. We were the cream of the crop at that time. But I think over time, the Ravens are kind of they're there. And so I had a good experience. Like I said, it was gritty. God was doing different things in my life. As like I said, I'm trying to figure out if is this it? And like I said, I think the disappointments that I was enduring over those 2 years were helping me to prepare and see my life outside of football because it is what it is. It's like, what? You don't necessarily like go out on your own terms always. Like
Right.
either they want you or they don't want you.
Right.
But I wasn't the guy that was going to try to be on waivers waiting around, seeing if somebody would call and try to, I'm like, listen, I gotta move on. I got 5 kids at the time.
Now, so when you left the Ravens, you got back to the Giants in the front office.
Mhm.
Was there a transition phase? And the only reason why I ask, on a personal experience, when I got out of the military, I immediately went into it was like I was a Department of Defense contractor.
Yeah.
So I was still working for the Army, but I wasn't a soldier.
Yep.
And I actually had people they told because when you're in the military, your son's going to find this out in the Air Force.
Sure.
You're all about the mission. You're all about taking care of the task and going on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time where people actually telling me to slow down.
Yeah.
So from you transitioning from being a player into the front office, although like you said, you're a dog and still keeping that mindset on your grind. Was there any obstacles? Was there any differences, or it was just like a smooth kind of
transition right in? I retired 2010. I'm kind of working. My advisor wanted to help me figure it out. He threw like a $100,000 salary at me. I'm like, all right, let's see what we can do. It was a nightmare in relation to just kind of coming into an open architecture, no schedule, no set schedule, fish out of water. World and eat what you kill environment for him. But he paid me. After about a year and a half, somewhere around, I just kind of knew that was running out. And then I started tapping into some of the NFL's resources. And Troy Vincent's a mentor and a relationship that I had when I wrote my book. I had a chapter called The Hall of Faith with different guys' testimonies in relation to their faith in Christ and stuff like that. And he was in there. So James Thrash was in there as well. And they were both working at the league office. So they kind of laid a pathway for me to work in the NFL. And that was a space where at least I had some credibility, familiarity, and, but I could also grow, learn, and really genuinely figure out what I wanted to do. So 2 years there, and then I come back to the Giants, which honestly, it was disappointing because it wasn't the culture that I left to what I returned to was night and day. And I was in a position where I'm not a decision maker. I'm a cog in a wheel. And yeah, I would like to say the nice way of saying it is I don't know if they really value my opinion or expertise or whatever as much as it could have been used. So that's the nice way of saying it. And then we're just unstable. And in football, when you don't win, no one cares. It's like everybody's a rock star when you win, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think there were some people in the building that clearly didn't favor me, especially when Gettleman came in. So, we're not going to get too heavy into that. But
yeah. Understood.
Yeah, those were dark days, period. 2 years, coughing out 2 years, Jerry Reese out. Then I'm kind of like a fish on an island. And the last 2 years, Shermer, not fun for me. So I still treasure the opportunity to come back and support my squad. And I'm there. I was there for the players.
And I think they'll definitely accept any kind of mentor that or leadership that you could provide for them. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I see a couple Giant fans out on the whim, and they may want to come on and ask a question if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I got you for 5 more minutes.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take all 5.
I got 5 strong.
I'll take. Now, before we go to them, I got one last question. I'm gonna move on.
Yep.
How often, if ever, do you wear your Super Bowl ring?
Not often. Upon request. I had one incident where I went out and I have a pinky ring because my little fingers is all jacked up, my ring fingers. So I even got my marriage wedding band that's semi stuck on the other finger. It's just I just whatever. So short story, I ordered a pinky ring. I'm swagging out, But so with that, it moves a lot. And one time I was out and I was conscious, but it fell off my finger.
Oh wow.
And it fell and I seen it. And when I seen I go to get it, I kind of see somebody else looking at it.
That's when a wish factor happened, right?
It wasn't no tension. He probably just observed. And that moment, in my mind, I'm just like, never will I be the guy. So I wear it at special occasions because I've never been a jewelry guy anyway. So, right. I definitely could wear it more. I should wear it more. But it's a treasure. We bring it out for the block parties,
I'm about to say that, what? That's a good problem to have. Should I throw on? Should I flex tonight or not?
There you go.
That's a good problem to have. All right, Gabe, here we go. Here you go. One question. What you got with the guy? The man, the myth, the legend.
Well, Gabe.
What's up? All right, so I got one question for you because I gotta make it fast, of course. What is your relationship as a past Giant with the Giants today? Like, can you like always walk in there and like what kind of how does it work?
Yeah, thank God that Dable and Shane just came in. I mean, we just went to two dark years, and I mean, like, I had no desire to go back because of the way they handled me as a professional. It's not, like moving on is an easy thing. Like, listen, man, if I ain't the man for the job, we good. It's the way you do things, and the fact that I've been a part of this organization since 2003. I've walked with a tremendous amount of integrity and represented them the right way. I just felt left out there the way things happen. So, I had to take care of my family and be a man. So it's great. It feels like now I've been back to the facility twice, popped up, no problem. I haven't met Dable yet. I did get a chance to shake Joe Shane's hand, and he was very welcoming. And that's a good feeling.
Thank God they're there now. Did you ever meet Judge?
I did because I was still there when he technically got hired. Met with him once, and he was cool by me. I think he was a straight shooter, but I think I had other enemies in the building, and he definitely had his own way of doing things. And like I said, disappointing experience in general. I would have loved 2 more years, but like I said, I'm not happy that I wasn't there for the Joe Judge era was not fun. So I can't say I missed out on much.
Well, we were there for that era, and anyway, we were all sold. We were all sold in the beginning, and then what happened. And of course, I wish him the best with the Patriots.
Of course, I'm sure as a human, he's well-meaning. It's just I think number one, I think they finally made the right decision to move on to something new.
Yes.
And I think at the end of the day, that's what the Giants culture needed. We have a dynamic ownership who cares about their club, of course. And I don't know, I don't know how much they know. And decision makers make decisions. I stay out of those places. If nobody's asking me my opinion, I typically don't offer it.
Gabe, I'll bring you back, man. Let me hear it one time.
Let's go Giants. Ow!
I appreciate you, brother. Jesse, you there? Jesse going twice. Please tell me you're there, because I know he was waiting on this one. All right, Danny.
It's only right. Hold on, 85. It's only right. It's only right, baby.
So just so you know, Danny got the nickname on the show for the best dress. He always comes swagged out.
Only right. I got to put this jersey on tonight.
Hey, go ahead. What you got for him today?
Hey, David. Listen. I had just 2 quick questions. How was it like playing for Coughlin, and like how was it when you first put that Giant jersey on?
All right. So first question, like Coughlin, I value integrity. It's hard to find a man that has more integrity, more mission, and an intention to everything that he does, and a commitment to excellence, detail. So I was a more mature player. My life changed. Is me, God, family. I go to work with a job. So like I'm a good teammate, but I ain't out there. So I was kind of his guy. I'm straight and narrow with it. So short story, it was a dream, and he's one of the most impactful men in my life to this day. That's one. Putting on the Giant jersey was definitely surreal because it wasn't in the cards for me to be there. I had a very to be announced as a special teams player when you're drafted is kind of like significant, right? It's like,
right.
It's like who gets drafted as a special teams player? You just draft a player and make him play special teams, right?
Right.
So I was just looking for an opportunity. The fact that I got drafted and then I'm right at the crib was really special. So I remember the Rams game was the first game that season. Kerry Collins, Mark Anthony comes through. And I'm about to go out, and Mark Anthony's coming out the locker room. I think he used, I'm like, yo, what's good, Mark? Yo, it's Mark Anthony. I'm out here like, yo, it's crazy. So it was special, man. Like I'm a Jersey kid to be able to
Same here, man. Same here.
respect, man. I'm Essex County all day, so it's like I'm here. So it was special.
That's good. Good.
So I'm gonna try and get back to Jesse. I know you got to get going, but
This is the
Jesse
last
said in the
one.
private
I got
chat.
one more for you.
Say again.
I got one more guest for you. I got a
Okay, and I can't tell you how much. So Jesse said if he's not there, he said Tyree is the most friendly athlete and amazing with kids.
Yeah,
That's what he has in the private chat.
listen,
So
man.
Danny, I'll bring you back. Let me hear one time, fam.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure meeting you. Let's go Giants. Ow. Peace.
Appreciate you. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get Jesse. You there? Okay, he's not there. Broad, do you want to come on? All right. Now, just so you know, he's the last guest. Oh no, wait, Broad. I am sorry. I see Mike right here. Let me bring. Damn, and I see Austin too. Hold on, let's do this.
That's it.
Austin, you there? We got to make
I'm
this
here.
quick.
Yep.
All right. You're on with David Tyree. You got any questions?
Actually, yeah. Hey, Dave. Hi, David.
Good,
I'm Austin. How you doing? So my question for you is, who was your inspirational growing up, or inspiration? My bad.
Yeah, my youngest inspiration was, I mean, I didn't have many, but it was Jerry Rice. I mean, like you would kind of hear those stories about him running that hill, even back in the day. And but other than that, I didn't really have like, like I was a bigger fan. I was a purist. So like college football attracted me more. My dream was to play D1A ball. And and since I never felt like I conquered that mountain, the only reason why the NFL came on my radar was because I had a son in college. So I never felt like I conquered the mountain to think about the NFL. That wasn't even like, I'm just like, now I'm still trying to shine here.
Awesome.
So basically when I have my son, like I said, I knew where I was. I'm just going to give this senior year my best. I had 20 tackles on special teams. I was killing them. I had 5 tackle games. I put in some work. Obviously, had a couple nice games my senior year, and I just gave it my best. So
Awesome.
it was a good run.
Thank you so much, David. It was nice talking to you.
Mike, what do you got?
Oh, hello, David.
And this will be the last. This will be the last question, David.
Yeah, it's an honor to talk to you. It's just amazing what you did on and off the field. And my question is like for the helmet catch, when did it catch you personally? Just like when you were by yourself, like you actually made this catch, or if you didn't make the catch, what were you thinking like after the game?
Well, I knew I caught it, but I didn't know what it looked like. So I didn't actually see a replay, post-game interviews. I just knew it was a good catch. I'm giving Eli all the credit because he obviously made an amazing play, and it's like it felt like a jump ball that was contested. So I get back to the hotel. Of course, we relax and enjoying everything. I think I went and got something to drink after chilling for a while, and I go, and TV's in there, so replays on, and I was just waiting for a second, and they replay it, and I see it, and I'm like, oh snap! And that was like the first time I think was ever impressed with my own work. So I mean, I didn't know the full weight and magnitude. I knew the next day they wanted me to do go on ESPN in the morning. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just knew. I knew it was going to be a little bit of fanfare, but I didn't think they was going to call me in to do an ESPN segment in the morning. So, of course, I mean, like, no, I never considered the historical ramifications. But for me, the sweetest moment was when Steve Sable said, "This is the greatest play, greatest catch in Super Bowl history." And that's the obviously, God rest the dead on Steve Sable. But when you talk about the historian and a legacy of knowing the most iconic moments in sports history, I felt like the gavel was down, and I'm in full agreement.
Okay, I'm gonna get you guys back. You guys owe me the outro, but I got to say bye to David.
So listen.
Again, thank you so much for blessing the mic with us, spending your time with us today. This has been an honor. I can't thank you enough. And the one thing that you don't have in common with Des Bryant It was a catch. It was a catch.
Well, listen, man, make sure you let them know where they can catch the Moment podcast. We're doing a lot. So
matter of fact, please tell everybody where they can find you. I know where to find you, but where can they find you?
Me, man, at DTyree85 on the gram. Catch the Moment podcast on every platform. I mean, the podcast is about everybody's journey to their moment of success. It's on the same theme of my life, man. Everybody, success is relative. So I try to marry people who you might know to people who you don't know. So we having fun, man. That's going to be a fun platform. And then we got the Catch Camp coming in Arizona for the Super Bowl, which is going to be football in the morning, basic skills, leadership, and then we do in the afternoon, we do leadership development and careers in sports. So DT3, DavidTyree85.com. Y'all can, we'll keep the stuff coming, but I definitely need the Big Blue Nation behind me. So, we're gonna have the store up pretty soon. Some helmet catch swag, official David Tyree helmet catch swag. So it's gonna be special in 2023. Get ready.
And the name of your book again?
Oh yeah, More Than Just a Catch. Hopefully you can find it. It's so old, I got copies here, but I got to create my own store so we can get it out to the fans and they can buy autographed copies legit.
Yeah.
So
send me that link because I'll be the first one to get one.
Yeah, man. It's an amazing story, but like I said, hopefully we'll get some book projects telling the story after the catch. Fans will love it, and it'll be a lot of life, a lot of substance. But man, G, keep doing your thing.
Well, David, I appreciate you. And one last request: if you could please send me the size of what shirts you and the wife wears. I'm gonna swag you guys out with some Sneaky G Man merch. I even have something for the spouses. So, and big shout out to Mrs. Tyree. I can't thank her enough for her help with this. And as always, God be with you. And thank you so much for blessing us.
Man. Keep leading the Big Blue Nation, man. We'll catch up.
And before I let you go, can you give it to me one time?
Oh, let's go Giants. Ow!
I'll take it. I'll tell you. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, fam. Be good.
Be easy.
Oh. Wow, that just happened, guys. That just happened. That just happened. Holy shnikes. I need a minute to process that. Hold on. I need a minute to process that. Broad.
What's going on, man?
I don't know. You tell me. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. That was pretty awesome. Saying that you had David Tyree on your show.
Yeah. Wait, he was on my show. He was legitimately on my show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm calm about it right now. I'm calm.
Yeah.
I'm calm. I shouldn't be. But yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
Well, the first question is, are you going up to the Giants game this weekend?
No, this weekend, I have my state championship tournament. This weekend.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be up in Jersey for the game.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
It's actually my first Eagles game that's not.
Oh hell, Loops, you are an ass. I fell asleep. It was so boring hearing your memories. You're just mad because it was 2007 and my son was alive for that Super Bowl. I digress. You were saying, and just so you know, and he'll know that I'm, because we actually had a conversation prior to, coming on live. And I'm going to tell everybody what you guys don't see behind the, before I hit live. My computer automatically updated. I was shitting bricks.
You're like, oh no.
Now you're updating. Anyway.
Yeah.
Jesse, I saw that. Yeah, this was an awesome show.
Yeah, Jesse actually hit me up.
He said, "Who's on the show?"
At the game.
Go to YouTube, Loops. No, I'm kidding. It was David Tyree.
Yeah, Jesse was actually texting me earlier if I was going to the game, and now it's official that I'm going to the game, so I'm excited It's my first Eagles
is-
game that's not going to be at the link.
So, truth be told, we had to shut down the whole traveling thing because of the fact that I invested a lot in this tournament. Not so much like financially, but I did hire a professional coach to help me throw the ball a little bit better. And it worked. It was great. I mean, although I didn't practice last week because I was sick.
Yeah.
But
I was feeling a little under the weather last week as well.
Right. It's like, over here it's like hot, then it's cold, it's hot, then it's cold. Now what I want to tell you, David Tyree, because we had a conversation yesterday because we did a dry run to make sure the connection worked, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And so I ask every Giant or Giant fan, what's the debate? No, not debate. What's the team you hate the most in our division? And he said it's between the Eagles and the Cowboys. And he said, if I had to pick one, it's the Eagles.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, that doesn't
Scott
surprise me.
Z in the house. Z Technology, shout out.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. He's a Jersey kid. I mean, Jersey, PA. It's a huge rivalry, period.
Yeah.
So,
and David Tyree, Scott, I don't know if you're still here. He grew up being a 49ers fan, and he did not like the Giants.
Interesting.
And yeah. Oh, and here we go. McNugget. I'm getting sick this week.
Sorry to hear that.
I hit my head Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. I hope you feel better.
Yeah, same here.
So it's been a great week for me so far. Yeah.
I don't know if I've shown you this before, but this is probably the coolest piece of sports memorabilia I have. I got this at a store in Havertown, PA. I don't know if the store exists anymore. I got this probably when I was about like 9, 10-ish. I think it was the year after they won the Super Bowl, but it is a signed.
Yes, I am so sorry. Go ahead,
James
man.
Harrison, Kent State jersey.
Whoops, I'll wait a second.
Helmet, I should say.
Sorry. I have to run. Sorry about that. I can't stay long, but I'll do the outro for you. Let's go, Giants. Out.
Man, I appreciate you.
Have a good night, guys.
Bringing you
Happy
too,
holidays.
Hey, man, be good. Be safe. And try to come on more often, man. Miss you, brother.
Sneaky, sorry. I've been so busy.
Oh, no, I get it.
I'm
finishing up my semester.
Yeah, no, I get it, brother. Just whenever you can. Whenever you can.
Okay,
but I appreciate you coming on tonight. Be good, and I'll talk to you
soon. Have a good night.
Hey, man, you too.
Yeah. It's James Harrison signed helmet from his college team.
Funny story about Kent. That's Kent, right?
Yeah, Kent State.
Kent State. What you call it? A friend of mine who went to Kent State, graduated there, showed me he had a picture because he sent a picture to his friend.
Yeah.
No, the friend sent a picture to him of apparently he was like one of the basketball coaches or athletic help, one of them. The regular season conference championship ring, although it just says conference championship ring on it, just says conference champion on it. This thing was humongous.
Oh, I bet.
And I was like, oh my God, how far did they get into the tournament? And he was like, you know what? They didn't even make it to the tournament. They say they lost and this is what I didn't know about the NCAA tournament. I thought that if your team won the regular season tournament or the regular season conference, if you won it, regardless how you did in the tournament, you get it because you already won the conference.
Yeah,
no,
but that doesn't apply.
You got to win the tournament conference than the regular season conference.
Yeah.
That is crap.
Yeah. But I guess if we're trying to speed it up a little bit, AJ Brown played like a grown man amongst boys on Sunday. Absolutely, he turned up against his former team. Jalen Hurts was playing great. We actually became the first team in 35 years to run for 350 yards, and I believe exactly against the Packers was like 363. Mm-hmm. And then the next week after that, throw for 350 yards.
I see you. Don't go
for 380.
What did you say? What's your Loops? I see Loops is coming on. What what's your guys' number? Like, there got to be a time where at least you guys clinch. Because then, did Minnesota win?
No, they didn't win the division because the Lions beat the ever living crap out of the Jaguars.
Okay, because the Vikings had to win and Detroit
And
had
the
to
Lions
lose.
had to lose.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
we could have clinched last week if you guys beat the Commanders, the Seahawks lost to the Rams, and the Niners lost to the Dolphins.
Oh, but then that would have just gave you a playoff spot. That wouldn't have
that would have
necessarily
given us a berth. I mean, I think we have to win, I want to say at least 3 out of our last 5 to officially clinch the division.
I hate to admit this on my show, but this is a true story. Young K, it's either 10 straight or 10-2. My best friend, who I haven't seen, God, in like 10 years since the Giants last won the Super Bowl. He's an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
So this Sunday, we're going to actually watch our first football game together as rivals.
Really?
Rivals this week.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and you know what? And so we grew up together, right? We played high school ball. When he told me he was an Eagles fan, I said, "Well, do you have a banner? Did you guys?" Because I mean, he told me this. Well, he told me this before, because when Michael Vick was there, that's when he told me, because he liked Mike Vick. But he didn't have the banner. He didn't have the replica ring. So I got him one for his birthday.
Oh, that's cool. So from what I looked up, supposedly the Eagles can clinch a playoff berth this week with a win or tie, and then a Niners loss and a Seahawks loss.
Okay, because then it'll eliminate one of the no.
It won't eliminate one of them. Why those teams specifically? I don't know, honestly, but I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. I mean, the Eagles Giants is a prime example of one of the best rivalries in the NFL, because no matter how good or bad either team is, they always play each other close.
All right, so we'll end it on this, Broad Sports. Give me your prediction.
I mean, I got to go from my guys. I think we're going to be very hungry, especially Jalen. I think he wants some redemption for last year's performance. 3 interceptions. I mean, that was terrible. Luckily, we won't have Jalen Reagor this year to screw it up at the end like he did last year. But I mean, this is a different team. Yeah, the Giants are a different team as well, but I think adding A.J. Brown will definitely help get a lot of the slack off of Devontae Smith, like he had to have against the Giants last year in New York. So, or Jersey, I should say. But I think it's going to be a really good game, and I'm excited to head to MetLife for the first time.
What's your prediction? Score.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go 31-20. No, actually even lower than that. I'm going to go 30. I'm going to go 24-17.
Okay, that's respectable. It's going to be tough because we don't have our top DBs. I know McKinney's not going to be back. I don't know if Dory Jackson's going to be healthy. I haven't seen the latest injury reports.
Yeah. And I think Jalen's gotten better since the last time he went up to MetLife. A lot better, I should say.
Okay, so Loop and Young K respectfully can kiss my ass. They said Young K said 35-0 Eagles. And Loop said 35-3 Eagles. Yeah, if this wasn't a PG show, I'd.
So yeah, I'm going up there with a couple guys I know from TikTok. I know Jesse hit me up. Danny, if you're in the area, I'll be at the game on Sunday. So, you guys want to meet up? You know where to find me.
Yeah, definitely. We need to make sure this happens again. You need to come next year if you can.
Yeah, I'll try to.
Okay. We'll plan for it now. And
Yeah,
hold
Jesse,
on.
definitely. We'll meet up.
So Jesse wants to come on real quick. Hold on one second. Oh, so Danny posted this, and you gotta go to J18. If you ever, anybody listening to this right now, if you ever go to MetLife, you gotta stop by J18.
All right, so I'm heading
Gotta
up.
stop by
I don't.
J18.
Do you know 302 Birds on TikTok, Sneaky?
Who?
302 Birds.
No.
So like,
You know what? I think so.
So
I
I'm
might.
going up with them to the games. I'm riding up with them, so I'll relay the message of J18.
Okay, perfect. Jesse, what you got, man? Sorry, I tried to get you on with
What's up,
David.
guys? Sorry,
I
man.
tried to get you
Sorry,
on with
I
David.
missed out. I was in and out of the show. I started watching when you brought David in. I have very long relationship with him. Like I know him since he was in Montclair, since he
Oh,
was
okay.
on that Super Bowl. I attended when he came to my college. I was actually in college in Montclair at that time. So yeah, I've like a very long relationship. And then plus he coached my son at the Giants mini camp one time, like few weeks back. So yeah, I got a chance to see him and Jonathan Casillas too. I think I shared that story with you, right?
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're very nice, very good to see that he was on your show. I'm happy.
And that legitimately was the fastest hour. The fastest hour.
I know. We have not run the show like more than an hour, right? And right now it's like what, hour and 27
Oh
minutes.
no, I've done. I typically do a 2-hour show
you have
now.
not seen.
I mean, what, 2 hours?
The Madden tournament.
You have done 2 hours. Oh no, no,
That shit would last
I'll
like
take that
6
back. I'll
hours.
take that back. I'll take that back. Yeah, you have done 2 hours.
I mean,
He's done longer than that.
Before I did
friggin'
like
Madden
4-hour
tournament
shows,
last
8-hour shows.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
I'm not being part of those though.
We were on for a minute, and it was a good time. We had a good time.
I mean, it's a work week. I mean, it's a work week for me. It's
I
like
might
10:30.
have to just break out and do it again.
I gotta get to office like 7 o'clock in the morning. So
yep, I'll let you go.
That's me.
Jesse,
But
let me hear.
yeah, so
let me hear one time.
if you're in MetLife, you're tailgating, more than welcome. I do stop by at J18 sometimes when I'm not taking my kid because it's not kids friendly. I mean, even the guys tell me. So I'm taking my son this week, and I'm also having a family over. So I will be tailgating at D3. That's another tailgate. That's where a license plate guy tailgates as well. So me and Joe like tailgate.
Oh yeah, that's on the other side of
the stadium.
Yeah.
So depending on where you're sitting,
Yeah, we're buying the tickets tomorrow.
Where are you? What section?
We're buying the tickets tomorrow.
Oh, you're buying the tickets tomorrow. Okay, so let me know what section you're in. I'm there every home game, so I know the whole stadium very well.
We'll definitely.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm there every home game. Must be nice.
Sneaky. I am
waiting for you. Season tickets and had to sell what 3/4 of them.
I sold them. Yeah, unfortunately.
Sneaky. And that's what I've been telling. That's why I've been telling Sneaky to move back to New Jersey or move to New Jersey.
Give me an application. I'll fill it out.
Dude.
But I need a moving bonus. I'm gonna need a moving bonus.
We'll move your stuff. Don't worry. I'll come over. We'll pack your stuff. Me, Danny, or whoever's on there.
Right.
Especially Gabe. I know for sure. Gabe's definitely gonna fly up there. And he will pack your stuff.
All right. Well, I hate to say this, I got to move on, guys. Oh, Danny said I will help. Danny even said he'll help.
See, I told you. Danny even works for the airport, so he'll get you charged.
Young K says Dallas is better than Jersey. Young K, I'm going to tell you, some people will agree with you on that. Because I made a comment. I made a comment to someone that I would love to have an opportunity up in Newark, right? And they were like, yuck.
Yeah, so it matters on the part of Jersey. I can say that as someone living in PA. Like South Jersey, it's kind of a little more wide open. Hold on. Here, since you're a Jersey guy, Jesse, does Central Jersey exist?
No, it's just divided.
Thank you. Yes, it does not exist.
I know. I
North
always
Jersey.
always have that. I always have that debate. I always have that fight
Yeah.
with my
I
friends.
can't remember.
A lot of
But
people are from
North Jersey is
I'm from North
infamously
Jersey.
dirty
I'm
Jersey.
like 10 minutes away from the city. I'm in North
What's
Jersey.
Hold on a second. I gotta call.
Yeah,
my guy.
my cousin, she lives in Jersey City.
Oh yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
where I
He's
work. My
probably
work location in
asleep
Jersey
right
City, but
now.
I'm in
Dang
Upper
it,
Bergen
he's probably
County.
asleep right now. Guys, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. It's gonna kill me. I mean, you guys can keep talking.
Yeah, no, I always have that debate with people I know from Jersey. Does Central Jersey exist? And most of us agree it does not.
Well, Central Jersey is like 50-50
Yeah, I
of
knew it.
Eagles
He's
and
gonna make
Giants.
me
You know that,
tomorrow.
right?
Yeah.
I might have to bring donuts to work tomorrow because he goes to bed early. I hope I don't wake him up.
I mean,
There's a
I don't
guy.
know what Central Jersey is. I mean, is it like Bridgewater
There's a
side? Is it like
and I
Bethany?
hate to cut you off, Jesse. I do got to move on, but there was a place like it's somewhere in Jersey. It's like a white. It's like not White Castle.
White Manor, that's in Jersey.
White
City.
Manor.
Yes,
No,
that's where he said.
that's in Hackensack too.
That's
Yeah,
where
I-
that's where he
Eli-
said I have to move
Where
to.
Eli just shot his one of his show.
Yeah, he said I have to. Anyway, Jesse, thanks for coming on. Let me hear it one time.
Let's go Giants. Oh, we're gonna
Appreciate
beat the Birds this weekend.
We are gonna be the Birds. Broad, let me hear it one time, brother.
Oh, it's gonna be tough this week. Heading into enemy territory, but go Birds and let's go Giants. Ow.
Appreciate you.
So that was some.
El Capitan.
Hey,
How are you, sir?
Sneaky. Hey, I'm very good. I'm very good. So right now, Las Vegas Raiders had just won 3 consecutive wins.
Young K, don't go anywhere. You guys are next.
And I was watching your whole show with the amazing David Tyree, which is the creator of the Humble Catch, which is at the Super Bowl between New Orleans Patriots versus New York Giants. And that was just like, wow, what amazing performance, what amazing athlete. And not only David Tyree helped Illuminati to win the Super Bowl, which is unbelievable. And that was the year for 2007. And man, what can I say? That this is unbelievable.
Hold on, man. Just got my last day of work before Saturday. Legs warming up. So that's one of my players that's going to be here on Saturday. That's going to help me win the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, we gonna do the damn thing, brother.
Yeah, in another case, I was talking about the Raiders because they had 3 consecutive wins, and the next week is going to be on Thursday against Los Angeles Rams, which is very important because they will be without Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, and without Cooper Kupp, which is to reserve an injury. And now they're waive Baker Mayfield because right now, during this career, he was doing a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Now they just shift to the Carolina Panthers for like in few games for the season. And now they just waive to Los Angeles Rams. But there is some information that he cannot go to the game until the next week. He's now going to Thursday until the next next
Baker
week.
won't be playing until next week. So wait, so Baker Mayfield was picked up by the Rams.
Yep.
And he won't be able to play until next week.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Well, and I got it, Loops. You better not go nowhere. Okay, I saw I got dark. You better stay right there.
Okay.
So I do gotta up my. We got another about a minute and some change. I gotta say about David Carr, he looked really good Sunday.
Yeah,
he looked really good. Do you think that there's a possibility that they can make the playoffs?
There's a possibility. I mean, the defense of the offline could work better because they had greatest talent in between Devontae Adams, Mike Hollins, Josh Jacobs, which is the running back, which they need to pay him.
I said David Carr.
Because you're just confused about Derek Carr.
Thank you.
Derek.
Hold on. I gotta post the comment because I was about to be like, yes, he is. Like, no, Derek Carr looked good. Oh man. What can I say? I took some Robitussin and it affects the memory.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, Danny, I might need you to come on real quick. At least David Carr got a Super Bowl ring.
Oh
I
yes,
can
yes,
say that.
yes.
El Capitan, what you got any projects going on anytime soon?
Oh, there's gonna be a brand new project, but it's gonna be on January. So I'm gonna be stay tuned because during that time I was at working and finding a new job because that was really really expensive and that was really about tired and my mental health it's not working at the last month, which is November. But in fact, in January 2023, I'm going to do something better because at this point right here is going to be the year of the captain. Because all over these years, since the first time that I was came here on YouTube as content creator, they said there's a lot of time to learn about how's it going to be, how's it going to happen. And it takes so much time to learn about the best. And it takes a lot of time to create something that I was bigger, something that I love it. And it's gonna be in January, so you gotta stay tuned for what's gonna happen to the year of the Capitan Refugio. So it's gonna be surprises, but I'm not gonna tell it because it's gonna be secret, top secret.
Yes, and keep it top secret. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it.
Yes.
Let me hear it one time.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Let's go, Giants.
I appreciate you, El Capitan. All aboard. So real quick, David Carr, LOL. I caught that. Haha. Yeah, I didn't. It took me 15. If Young K wouldn't have said anything, I would have called Derek Carr, David Carr, the whole show. Let's see. Eli barely used the backup who got a ring, right? And let's not forget about the Hefty Lefty, too. The late, great Hefty Lefty. He also got a ring, too. And started with this. Okay, here we go. Danny, you there?
What up? What up?
Okay, so Danny, thanks again for coming back on. Now, I'm glad we got the four of us, and I wanted to set some time aside for us four because for some reason we hear about Kyrie, we hear about Kanye. We ain't said a darn thing about Jerry Jones in that photo. Right. And I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say let's not be politically correct. Let's just be straight up and honest. And Loops, I know you love Jerry Jones. I know he
wishes he would die.
I know. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I think it's strategically too. I'm getting off topic here. That you put that Alabama hat when I said Alabama shouldn't get in the. I don't hate Alabama. I know I said that.
But this is a Braves hat.
I wasn't. That's an Alabama hat. I was in my feelings Saturday when they were talking about Alabama getting in. I'm like, they better not with 2 losses. It is anyway. Jerry Jones. Okay, I'm not gonna put it on the show. Y'all know what it is. It was a picture about Jerry Jones, and I know Danny, you're like, what the hell did I get into? And I know Loops. And well, we talked about it briefly. Okay. Okay, we got like 20 minutes left in the show. Oh, actually, like 15. And I basically want to talk about this because I kept, talking about other stuff. And I think we are a mature group that could discuss it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Y'all know I hate the Cowboys, and we could talk about that all day, go back and forth, but I think we need to address this.
It's like an elephant in the room.
Yeah. Yes. Now, I'm going to give my 2 cents, and I'll make it quick. I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
And the reason why I'm not surprised is Jerry Jones and my dad, they're about the same age. Okay. And my dad grew up during the civil rights and even prior to that. Okay. And he's told me, young cat, I don't know if your father sat you down and had that conversation yet. But it wasn't a good time. Okay. And I know a lot of people are defending Jerry, saying he was just there to witnessing. We don't know what he was there for. We don't. Okay. Now we can make an assumptions all we want to. My concern now about the whole thing, right? When I saw that picture, again, I'm not surprised. The first thing that came to mind was the mindset. Okay.
Mhm.
Because you can change. You can always change. I'm not saying you can't change. You can change the behaviors of like, okay, look, wrong is wrong. Maybe, maybe I wasn't right then, but now I'm doing. But can the behaviors change and the mindset? Now let's keep in mind, we could make assumptions what we want about Jerry and how he feels about slavery and all this other stuff. Now let's recognize that he has give millions of dollars to black men to perform on the field. Okay. Now, has he hired a black coach? No. Okay. Has he hired a black GM? No. Are there black people in? What's up?
He's like a GM, but sort of a vice president. But
right. Well, I mean, but I'm just saying, has he? But he hasn't hired a white GM either. Okay,
No.
let's just be honest. Okay, but for me, and I'll make this quick, and I want your 2 cents, guys. It's the mindset. Like, I hope that changed. Because we can easily say he didn't want those kids going into school. He didn't want those black kids going into his school. All right. And that was probably the common mindset of that era and of that time frame. Okay. Does it make it right? No. Am I making excuses for him? No, not at all. But it's easy to look at it now and be like, hey, bro, you was wrong back then. Now, what's your guys'? Give me Young K, we'll start with you. What's your
it's just kind of weird, man, because like after that photo got out, it's like Jerry Jones has changed. Because what he was saying in the interview about Mike McCarthy, he was like, because something that Ezekiel Elliott did in practice or in a video call or whatever, I think he threw a fit. Mike McCarthy disciplined him by starting Tony Pollard. And then Jerry Jones said that he would have been more lenient than that. So it's telling me that Jerry Jones is letting Mike McCarthy take over the team. I mean, it's like, it's just so weird. Like after that picture came out, it's just, I don't know, man. But to be honest with you, like my dad said, everybody was like that back then. It was the mindset, just basically what you were saying. But
we can't excuse that though.
Right, we can't.
Because
I don't excuse racism at all. But I do respect Jerry as a owner. The only thing I don't like about Jerry is what he really doesn't do anything in free agency or trade market. That's really the only thing. But how he take care of his players, that's what I really respect out of Jerry Jones.
And I will say this: I'm not going to speak for Jim Jeffcoat. I'm not going to drop any names. But I'm lying. I am. He speaks very highly of Jerry Jones. And I don't think I would ask him this question on the podcast without his permission. But I will tell you that I would say that he would not see that action in Jerry Jones. But the funny thing is, I had a friend of mine who told me, how you can tell someone who's racist is if you would be offended if that a person was at your dinner table.
Right.
Now, and and there's a little context to it too as well, because, and short story, there was a gentleman I met. I'm not gonna in a time when I was in the Army, he said to me, you know, we're like, you know, in a foxhole field FTX exercise, right? Not wartime, it's training. And anyway, long story short, he says, you know, we got on the topic about racism, and I don't know if I started the conversation or he started the conversation, and not so much racism, but prejudice. And it was like, you know, he said, I didn't know I was prejudiced until my daughter brought a Mexican over for dinner, and that was her boyfriend. He was like, I did not know I was racist. And I'm like, I mean, it kind of came out the blue because he said, how do you know if you're racist? And I'm like, well, I know I'm not. And he's like, well, I didn't know I was until my daughter. Yeah, he would be a little more upset if it was his wife bringing over his, you know,
it's that awkward feeling. It's that awkward feeling.
Lover, you know, that'd be, but he, you know, and I was like, and then he said, you know, pretty much in the same breath, he said, but then I got to know the feller, and he's a really good dude.
That's what it comes down to. That's what
and
it
I'm
comes down
like,
to. Yeah.
I said, so then are you still racist? Or I mean, well, I didn't use that word. I said, are you still prejudiced? And he was like, no, I like him. I said, okay. And so that just makes me think, like, would, you know, how would, and I hate to say this, we'll never know, how would, you know, somebody like Jerry, would they be offended if their daughter brought somebody other than a
Caucasian
at the dinner table?
I have no idea. I can't speak on that.
I know we can't. I mean, to be fair, we can't. But Lutz, you've been very patient and quiet. It's almost scary.
It's not like him, yo.
I know. I'm like, are you okay? Do you need a hug or something? What's your thought about the Jerry Jones thing? Go ahead.
On that Jerry Jones thing, I mean, that's how they were raised back then. You know, like to hate the colored people and, you know, all that nonsense.
But I mean, should there be any like retribution now?
That's the hard part, though, because I mean, he wasn't not even a face the like, you know, like a racist, an adult that's a racist or whatever. They're not gonna sit there and admit to you, you know, whether they're right or wrong. And then nowadays, no matter what anybody does, always a way around it. Because look at Jerry Jones. Like me, I still think he has that a little bit inside of him, but he has a lot of black people that are giving him the big bucks. You know what I mean? But there's no way to prove it. It's not like he's gonna sit there and be like, "Yeah, I don't like these black people." That would be the stupidest thing he could.
Well, I mean, because now what do you mean? I mean, he has he does have a lot of corporations, you know, a lot of sponsors,
and I think that when he was a kid, it was invested in him. Whatever it was put in his head that black people, what his family had against them. That I don't think that goes away overnight. Like I think it's still,
and that's the point. Go ahead, keep going.
I think it's still in there a little bit, you know. But he's got to make money, you know. And the sad part about it is all the racist people that are out there. It's like most of the athletes that make you that money, they're black. Like, you know, like you can't be a racist towards someone that makes you richer and tell someone out loud, like, yeah, I don't like blacks. You know, you're going to lose everything. But you also need those people. And it trips me out because, like me growing up, we've never had that type of stuff. My dad would, we would get if we were to bring up just a comment, like messing around, oh, man, you get hit. And my dad would hit you with a belt.
So Xmas, I hear you, and if you can explain, you know, if you can, and you type it if you can, explain how you, you know, how you disagree. You kind of hit the nail on the coffin. I had a moment with one of my kids. It wasn't Nick, and I'm not going to call out my child, but you know, I had a teachable moment with one of my kids. You know, we lived in Colorado at the time, and and I think you're right. It's all in the house. And I think racism and prejudice is taught in the house. And if it's not taught in the house, if the child or whoever gets it from outside brings it home, then, you know, it is that parent's responsibility to either correct it or ignore it or condone it.
I mean, so forth. But anyway,
Like I have a question. The way, what do you guys think about, like, you know how it was Taco Tuesday and all that stuff? The way LeBron James did it. Do you think if a Mexican or a white person would have made, just say, Jimmy, just making it up, like a chicken wing Wednesday or something, and they did it online and they thought it was funny, you think black people would get offended by it?
well, I don't know the whole context. What happened?
Don't you remember that time back there when he would start yelling like a Mexican and start doing that Taco Tuesday, all that mess that they were doing a while back? You don't remember it?
LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron.
I think I remember that. I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Do you guys think if it was like a Mexican or a white person doing it?
So I think it would have been more of, and I'm just guessing here, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Like,
I think if and I can't believe time is just rolling away. I think if it's done by a minority, right, that it doesn't have as much of an impact as a white person were to do it. Okay. And I'm only guessing by saying that because of the history.
Yeah.
Because I've had I mean, it's I don't want to get too deep, but now, I mean, do I think it's right that he did? And I don't know the full context, and I don't know how he said it, but if he said it, you know, because one of my favorite movies is Blood In, Blood Out. I mean, I will forever be like Vato Locos forever. I mean, I will say that. Yeah. I don't, if someone don't like it, I'm sorry. That's my favorite movie. Yeah. I'm not, taking that culture away. I'm just saying it because I respect and appreciate that movie. But at the same time, with the whole situation, and I know we got to kind of put a bow on this because we're running out of time. I guess the question is there going to be any, and I don't think there's going to be any repercussion, but should Jerry speak on this, or should he just let it lie? And well, actually, let me back up. You were talking about LeBron. Let me just end it with this. Excuse me. Let me end it with this. With LeBron saying to the media, how come he wasn't asked about the Jerry Jones photo? I believe he was right in saying that.
Yeah.
Because we give all the attention to Kyrie, the Kanye West, but when things like this happen, it needs to be brought to the forefront and at least brought to everybody's attention. What are your guys' thoughts? And we only got like 2 minutes left. So
yeah, I think they should bring it to the forefront so it could be accountable for it, so people can, what I'm saying? Like they're trying to swipe it under the rug and it's not right,
Young K, your thoughts?
Oh, what was that?
Go ahead. We'll explain it to Young K later. What you got? What you... Shit,
that was great. That was great.
Yeah. Like, huh?
Wait. What was the question?
He's like, true. No, about LeBron and how he was like, do you think he was right? And if you know the situation.
Oh, about calling out the media?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, because I think that the media should learn that I don't think talking about racism in sports is okay, to be honest with you.
Visual, I appreciate you.
I don't think it's okay.
talking about racism?
Yeah, talking about racism in sports. I don't think it's all right to do that.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean talking about? Okay, hold on. Like, they shouldn't bring it to the attention. Or
ask players, ask athletes about racism.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean,
that's not the right platform to ask them.
It's not, but the problem is, God, these Loops. What's your thoughts? What do you think about? You agree?
Yeah, just
about
like
the media and LeBron.
It shouldn't be talked about. But it's going to be a never-ending story, and
and you know what? I'm going to agree with you guys because you're not going to have the right answer.
Yeah,
I was going to say that. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't even think Dak Prescott gave the right answer because he looked nervous when he was speaking about it.
I would too.
Yeah, it makes him uncomfortable.
What do you think about he gives me foods, he gives me sleeps. What else is he gonna? How else is he gonna respond to that? Harry Spears, you're the inspiration of that joke. All right, I gotta give him love for that. Loops, I appreciate you, brother. Let me hear it one time.
Let's go Giants. Ow!
Young K, appreciate you. Let me hear it one time.
Let's go Cowboys. I mean Giants. Ow.
Say it again.
Wait. I got one question.
What?
Uh-oh.
Okay, look. We put up 54.
Make it quick. Oh, God.
33.
I knew he was coming. I knew he was coming.
Loops, I'm not bringing you back, Loops. I'm not, because he snuck this one in.
How
Make
do you
it quick? We got to go soon. Make it quick.
All right, how do you think about the Cowboys putting up 33 in the fourth quarter? Like, what do you think about that?
Let me hear it one time.
Come on now, man.
Let me hear it one time.
Let's go Giants. Wow.
Appreciate you. I ain't gonna answer that question.
He ain't answering that, bro.
Danny, you know I got number love for you, fam.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on with David Tyree.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that, brother.
This was epic, brother. Epic.
I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you a lot.
Hey, let me hear it again.
We're gonna beat them Philly Pigeons on Sunday, and let's go Giants. Ow! Peace.
Appreciate you, fam. Guys, oh man, this was a great show. I want to thank all of you for participating, allowing me to be into your room, your living room, your phone, your laptop, whatever the case may be. I want to definitely thank the Tyree family for, donating their time. God, it's just, you guys, thank you so much. You guys set the example, and I just can't appreciate you guys for what you do. Anyway, I'm running out of time. I love y'all. We'll talk soon. Let's go Giants. Ow!
Is this thing on?
It's your boy Stefan, aka Sneaky G, bud. Let's go Giants!